So we've talked about how to conjugate all the preterite forms and all of the irregulars. We talked about how to conjugate the imperfect tense. But the real challenge is, when I'm writing the story in Spanish in the past, how do I decide which one to use? So here's one trick that might help. I call it ice waters. So the preterite is used for interrupting actions. We'll just call them interruptions. Completed actions. And if we know the exact time or number of times. So this would be something was happening when all of a sudden, boom, an action interrupts. This is, if it's completed, I know that, I tell you that I fell down the stairs. Well, that's a completely done action in the past, it's over. And then the exact amount of time would be if I worked somewhere for 3 days, we would know the exact amount of time. Or if I went there 4 times, that would be completed. So I know the exact number of times that that happens. So that's when we use the preterite. It's like ice, okay? A single cube, you drop it into the story. It's like, plop, that happened. Whereas waters, the imperfect, is kind of the ongoing elements of the story. There's no real moment in which all of a sudden that happens. It's just the flowing water throughout the story. So this includes weather, somebody's age, what time it was, because even though it's a specific moment, it's not actually an action. You're just saying what the situation was. Emotion, which is not an action, it's just a feeling. Repetition, so this happened all the time. I went there every day. We visit him each week. That's over and over and over and over again, this water. And then the setting, to say what things looked like, what the situation was. None of that is a plop of ice into our story. It's just saying the weather was this, and he was this old, and it was this time, and I felt this way, and on this happened in a nice, peaceful town. And none of that is an ice plopping into our story, but rather the water that runs through it. So that's how we're going to differentiate between preterite and imperfect for now.